Okay, so I'm gonna try something different and I'm going to talk during this video. Versus my fast forward, just music playing kind of thing. I figured I'd talk today. Kind of talk, let you know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it this way, and because it might be different from what other people do. But it makes sense to me. So I wanted to kind of relay that to you guys. Anyway, my name is Carrie, and I'm just going to put on some makeup. All right. So first I'm going to use Silk. Silk is our pore and wrinkle minimizer. You can wear it alone. You can wear it as a primer, and all I use is that much. That's it. Nice little airless pump. No wasted product. Then I just take and I rub it in my fingers, like so. And you go down. When you apply skincare, as like lotions or wrinkle creams or anything of that kind of nature, you go up with it. When you apply primer, you go down. Because all of your little peach fuzzes go in a downward motion. So you are wanting to go with those to give it, I don't want to say an airbrushed look because it's not, but it's a smoother appearance than if you would go up with it. I like to let that sit. So I put it on and I let it sit and soak in. This is when I do my eyebrows. Today I'm going to use the Brow Sense in Taupe. I don't know if it'll focus or not, but this one's Taupe. It comes with a spoolie on that end. I mean, you can see it through the clear casing. And it comes with a little brush on that end. Now, it's kind of globbed up because I took the stopper out because this is how I like to do it, but there's the brush that comes with it. I prefer to take the stopper out of the neck and use, hi baby, a brush. I use this little angle brush, little thin little guy. It's got a spoolie on that end, and all I do is I take the stopper and I squeeze out some of the product. See how much? That's way more than you're gonna need for both brows. So all I do is I dab it in the product. And I always brush my brows out, kind of measure where it's supposed to go by going corner of my nose through the tear duct and straight up. That's where my brow is supposed to start, that dot right there. I'm just going to draw a line, brush it out so it's not so harsh, and continue on. And if you are unsure as to where your brow is supposed to arch and supposed to end, there's a nifty little trick. So here straight up, that's where your brow starts. Nose, the corner of your nose, looking straight forward through your iris, that is where your brow arches, supposed to arch. And then corner of the nose through the corner of your eye, out there is where your brow is supposed to stop. So that's a little nifty trick. Trying to figure out where my brush is. It dries so fast. That's why I like to take it and use this brush versus the teeny little brush that they give you, because the product, it dries so fast that you have to keep re-dipping. And then start filling in. Trying to do this. It's not working. Try it because I want you guys to see what I'm doing. And you can fill them as full or sparse as you want. If you want more of a natural look, just do a little lighter. You want a more bold brow, just get a little heavy-handed with it. See, it dries so fast. I got a little glob, there we go. So this video might be a smidge long, but, and then see the little globbies? I just kind of brush those out to make them a little more natural. Now, yeah, if people are right up on your face, they're going to be able to tell that that beginning of my eyebrow is not real hair. But if they are that close, it is my husband. Anybody that's that close that's not my husband needs to get out of my face. They don't need to be up in my face, seeing that my eyebrow hair is not all my eyebrow hair. And all I'm doing is I'm just squeezing the stopper and getting more on my brush. And brushing it after you apply the product like that helps to distribute it through your brow so it's a little more natural than just leaving a big old glob sitting there. And if you go a little too far, like I just went a little too far up there, you can usually get it before it dries. Just wipe it off. Ooh. I usually start with this brow. Just, there's no rhyme or reason to it, I just do. It usually doesn't take me very long to do it, but since I have to keep putting my mirror back down and picking it back up, it's taking a second longer than it usually does. Like I said, you can go as sparse or as bold as you want. They're your brows. And if people want to complain about your brows, they don't have to look. That's how I feel. Now, if they're being nice about it, like, oh, hey, I think you missed a spot, you know, then fine. But if they're, what's going on with your brows? You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Okay, that looks pretty good. I might touch it up a minute. Okay, and then same thing with this brow. Corner of the nose, tear duct, straight up. This is what beauty school does to your brows. You get a little overzealous when you're practicing on each other. And then you have very little brows left. But it's okay. It's okay. And I always, on the top, I don't ever start way over here because I like this bit up here to look a little more natural. So I always start over. Oh, right there. That's where I start the top line. And I'm just, again, squeezing the stopper. Getting more product on my brush. Like I said, normally doesn't take this long to do them. It's just the up and down with the mirror cuts into my time. Again, just squeezing my stopper, getting more product. Put a little globbies there. Brush them out. Oh, nice. So what I might do with the rest of my makeup, I might go ahead and just like do one eye and then show you how I did it with the other eye, or vice versa. I might show you how I do it with one side and then just do the other side, fast forward it, so the video is not as long. I don't know. I'll see. Not that great. I will say I'm not great when it comes to editing. So bear with me while I maneuver the whole editing of videos. Please bear with me. We'll get through it together. Okay. So now that that's on, I think that looks all right. Not perfect, but I mean, it's me. I'm not perfect. So, eyes. We're gonna do eyes next. And I like to take a sponge, blender, beauty blender I think is what the technical term is. And I like to use ShadowSense. It's upside down, isn't it? I like to use ShadowSense, and I use Candlelight as an all-over base for my eyelid, under my brow, and underneath for all the dark that's there. I like the even tone that it gives, because otherwise you see all like all the discolorations going on. But I just blend it out. You see the difference? This one has a nice solid base for eyeshadow, to where this one, it's all, you know, different colors. There's a different color here versus here versus here. This is all one nice solid base. And there's something in my eye. I'll figure it out later. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to use 3 colors. I'm going to use Mocha Java, which is on the bottom. Rose Gold Shimmer is there in the middle. And Garnet is there on the top. I'm going to use Mocha Java as the transition color, which is going to go in my crease. So I'm just going to take it. It comes on little applicators like that. I'm going to take my mirror, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to touch it to my lid. Now, I have semi-hooded eyes to where this bit sits on my eyelid. So what I like to do is I kind of relax my face, look forward, and you see how it sits on my eyelid? Well, I want it up there, but I also want it in my crease. So I'm going to touch it on the top there. Now it looks a little high if I go like that, but you take a really fluffy brush and just blend it out. And there you go. It makes it look like my crease isn't as hooded. It gives depth to the eye. It gives definition, and it gives, I like it. I like it, just go with it. I like it. And then I'm going to take the Garnet just for a little more depth, a little more to it, I'm going to take it. I'm going to go just on the outer corner, just very lightly touch it. Just right there on the outer corner. I'm going to take that same fluffy brush and I'm going to kind of just drag it into my lid and pat it and drag it up a little. I just want a little more depth out there on the corner of my eye. I don't want to drag it too far out. I don't want it too far up. I just want it kind of right there on the corner. So it's a little darker than the transition color. So it adds a little more dimension to my eye. And then I'm going to take my rose gold. Stay. My rose gold. See that there's a nice glob of it right there. And I'm just going to put it on my lid. And now you could take your finger or a flat brush like I have and just kind of pat it on. I just don't want to get the glitter all over my finger. And I'm not going all the way into my tear duct. I'm stopping about right there and just patting. The glitter stays much better if you pat instead of dragging. And I'm not going all the way to where the garnet is. Or I'm going to the garnet. I'm not going over the garnet because I don't want glitter out there. There. And there is my easy peasy little eye look. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this eye and then I'll be back. Okay, so now we're going to do eyeliner. I have chosen the SeneGence in black brown. And it comes with the cutest little brush. So what I do, shake it, and then I stir it, and I go around in the stopper to knock some of it off. Go from the corner, very lightly, go out. I like, get in there. I like the cat eyes. I like the wings. Versus just a plain old eyeliner. It adds more drama. I like it. Very lightly. Go up and over. Now I don't like a lot of product because I don't want it to glob up. That's why I like swirl it around in the stopper. I like to knock a lot of that off. It gives me more control. I mean, yeah, that means I have to go back into it a bunch, but I would rather go back into it a bunch than have to wipe off everything I've just done. Stick really close to the lash line. I like to make my liner thin. But you could go a little thicker if you want to. I mean, you can go as thick as you want, it's your eye. But I prefer on mine today thinner. And then I just fill in my wing. The hardest part about eyeliner is getting your eyes to match. Because eyebrows don't have to match, but your eyeliner should. Eyebrows should be close, yes. Eyeliner though. Okay. Corner and lightly up. And I can never tell if they look alike until I'm done. So. It's not gonna look the same. I can tell you right now. This one's thicker. It's okay. I'll just have to go back and make the other side thicker. No big deal. I rest my elbow on the counter. And my finger, I brace on my face and my wrist on my jaw to steady my hand. Otherwise, it's super wonky. Okay, so I'm gonna have to thicken this one a little bit. This angles up more. Dang it. Boop. Okay, so since this one angles up more, I kind of like this one better. So this one I'm going to wipe off. I'm going to take a Q-tip, cotton swab. Sorry, I'm going to take a cotton swab in our foops and shake it up to activate it. I'm just going to take the lid. Cotton swab into the lid. Got a little bit of product on there. And I'm just going to remove the wing. Now, if my eyeshadow was a little more in depth, a little more detailed, this wouldn't be as easy to do. But since it was just from eye over, not, you know, out, it wasn't extravagant in any way, shape, or form. I just want to dab off some of that, if there's any remover left. Then it's not so simple just to wipe it off. Again, I'm going to swirl that around, get that product off there. That's the hardest part for me, is getting them to match. One's always more angled than the other one, or one's thicker than the other one. There. Turda. I always wait till the very end for mascara, so moving on. What am I doing? Color correcting tinted moisturizer in light on the bottom of my blender. Now, I didn't wash it last time, so it's still dirty. Leave me alone. 1 squirt. And I like to add a little bit of our color corrector, green, to help neutralize any red that the color correcting tinted moisturizer doesn't cover. And I like a little bit of our natural. It's almost empty. Okay. And I will show you what that looks like on there. Just a little bit of green, a little bit of natural, and the color correcting tinted moisturizer. And I dollop it on my face. And then you just start bouncing your beauty blender. Be careful of your eyeliner. I always like to do one side of my face and like compare it to the other side. I'm like, oh wow, look at that. Look at the difference. Isn't that nifty? Like, look at all of that versus like all the discoloration and everything on that side. Now you can apply it with a brush. You can apply it with your fingers. Sorry, I'm being very, very ginger with my nose right now. It hurts. Still, yeah. All of this area still hurts. I think that cow did break it. And I always come down just a little. I don't come down onto my neck, but I just a little. Now, you could add the foundation on top of it, our Make Sense foundation. I don't want that much coverage because I'm just running to the store. So, I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna add the foundation because I don't want full coverage right now. I don't feel like I need it right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and start contouring. I'm gonna use Blush Sense in bronze. I'm gonna take it and just, you can see there's product on the tip there. I just want a little bit. So I'm gonna wipe that onto my Beauty Blender. And that shadow, that's where you apply your contour. Don't go all the way to your lip though. I like to stop kind of right there. Just kind of blend it out. Otherwise, you walk around looking like that without doing that. And I don't want that. I just want a natural contour. And what you're doing is you're adding shadow to where your cheekbone is. Whether you have that natural shadow or like me have cheeks and don't have that natural shadow. I mean, everybody has cheeks, but I mean, I have cheeks, cheeks. So I want to emphasize where my cheekbones are. It adds that shadow to give you more of a chiseled cheekbone appearance. And I'm just squeezing out a little more of that Blush Sense right there on the end. And I'm going around to make it appear as though my forehead is not as big, that it goes back before it actually does. Contour. That's what contour is. You are creating shadows and highlights to diminish or emphasize certain aspects. So I'm also going to take it and go along my nose, because even though my nose is straight, I like it more defined. I almost touched my nose with it. I'm like, no, not yet. I didn't put anything there yet. Okay. And for this, I like to be precise. So I'm going to take it, take that little bit that's on there, and I'm going to touch it very lightly to the sides of my nose. So there's little dots. Now you could do 1 dot, you could do 2 dots. Sometimes I do 1, sometimes I do 2. Today, I guess I did 3. Okay. And then take your Beauty Blender very gently, because your nose is broken. It does, it hurts. It hurts really bad. I'm gonna wipe whatever got on top of it. I'm gonna wipe that off. This is the first time I've actually done like full face makeup since she hit my face. I do have a bulge right there now. I mean, there's always been a hump. It was a natural hump, and then it got bigger when my nephew broke it. But there is a bulge Right there. She broke my nose. Dang cow. All right. So I'm going to take this natural concealer and I'm going to put it on my beauty blender. And I'm going to very lightly touch it right there, right in the center and down to lighten that a little more. Very gently. I mean, you can tell it's not even like mushing into my nose because it hurts. Okay. So that's contour. Contour, contour, contour. All right. I don't want to do blush today. I don't feel like blush. So we are going to go ahead and put powder. Now, our translucent powder comes in little containers like this, but I like to transfer them into containers like this. I just take the sticker off the bottom so I know it's what. That's what I like to do. And then I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to tap it into the lid, knock off the excess. Then I'm left with that. And there is a little bit of color to our natural translucent powder. So I don't want a whole lot, but I'll apply it to one side and then you can compare it to the other to see the difference that it makes. See, just a little bit. There. And then you can tell the difference between this side and this side. Little fuzzies flying around. It adds that polished, finished look. Like I said, I don't want a whole lot, so I'm knocking off a lot of the excess powder. Now I have normal to oily skin. My T-zone gets quite oily. Well, it used to. It still gets a little oily compared to the rest of my face. So I like to add just a little extra, see on that bottom edge. I just want to take and dab it, tap it, whatever you want to call it, just right there on my forehead, just right there in the center, and take a little bit more, see right there on the edge, and on my chin, just so it can help absorb a little more of that oil when it starts to cause issues. And then I'm going to take my bronze dust, same thing. I like to put it in these little containers. I'm not a fan of that tube container. Personal preference. Leave it in the tube container if you like it. I prefer using my own brushes to that brush. But this one's the bronze. I just want a little bit. You can see just, there's a dot there, but there's just a little bit spread out. And I'm gonna go over the contour that I did, just to give it a little more definition, not much, because I don't wanna look like a crazy psycho person that rubbed dirt on my face. This is nice if you want a little bit of color, like a little bronze goddess. You could do that. Like me, I like to use it for contour. I stick my finger in there. I don't know if you can, it's on that finger. It's just a little bit. I'm gonna take it and go on the sides of my nose, because that brush is just way too big for the side of my nose. And it just adds a little more definition. And I like to go right there on the bottom side of my tip. Right there, right in the middle. And I always put my lids back on before I do anything else because I will knock it over. There will be a mess. Now I'm going to highlight. So I'm going to use our pearlizer. I'm going to take just a little bit. I'm going to squirt it onto my beauty blender. And around my occipital bone and on top of my cheeks. And just bounce, drag just a little, I mean just a smidgen bit, because I don't want dots on my face, so I'm gonna blend out the dots. Now again, you can use your finger, you can use a brush, it's all about personal preference. And then I just want a little more for the other side. I mean, you can see where I'm, placing my dots at. And then blend it in, blend it out, whatever, blend it so it's not little dots all over your face. Unless that's the look you're going for, and then dot away. And then it adds just a little bit of highlight. Yeah, we're gonna take just a smidgen bit more onto the tip. And we're gonna go tip of nose and up, just to highlight the nose. Just very lightly, because your nose is broken. Don't get a little overzealous, because you will hurt yourself. Now, if your nose is not broken, bounce away. I'm gonna take the little bit that is left from the last little squirt on my finger there, under my brow bone. Like I said, you can apply it with a brush, you can put your beauty blender up there, but it's such a small area. I like to use my finger. A little bit more under that brow bone and blend it out. Can go into the corner of your eye if you want. I'm gonna do my Cupid's bow. So I come down a little bit, go over my Cupid's bow and back up to highlight that. Because you want to highlight the natural spots where the sun will hit. Shadows are created with the darker colors to where the light's not hitting, and the highlight is put where the sun would naturally hit. Hence, highlight. Oh, it's cold. Yuck. Yuck. I don't like cold coffee unless it's iced coffee. Look. Figured today we would do Summer Sunset. It's a really pretty color. Really pretty. It's not summer yet, but close enough. So you shake. With Lip Sense, you shake. You hear the ball? It's mixing up all that goodness inside. You want to distribute that all throughout the tube. And if you ever feel or hear it get lodged and it's not moving, kind of gently bang it on the counter. See, like it's stuck? You bang it just gently and it knocks it loose. Okay. To apply Lip Sense, wipe off all excess product. Go in one fluid motion. So I'll go on the outside of my lip, and then I'm going to go on the inside, on the waterline slightly. And you keep your lips stretched the entire time, and you do 3 layers like that. Okay. Do not overlap, because it will wipe it right back off. Cupid's bow out. I let that dry. I like to shake it in between, just to make sure. Okay, wipe that off. And this is where you would overline just a little bit if there's anywhere you wanted to do that. Just relax your lips a little bit and use the tip of your applicator. I don't like a lot of overline, just a little. Just to give them a little bit more shape. Don't let them touch. There. Okay. And then you can go ahead and do your third layer. And then you dry. You can use a fan, you can use a blow dryer, you can just sit there. And then seal with Glossy or any of our other glosses. Glossy is just the most hydrating. And the more hydrated your lips, the better and longer the product is going to stay. There was a spot that wasn't dried all the way, so that's why there's color on my applicator. So I'm going to take and wipe it off. Okay. That way my glossy stays nice and clear. Oops. Okay. And then I want to see where it was not completely dry. It's probably on my waterline somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and go like that. It was on my waterline. That little bit of pink right there is on my waterline. That's what wasn't dry. If you want to make sure that that does not happen and you get a good, nice coverage on your waterline, dry it off first. But since I was talking, it's kind of pointless to try to dry it off and then continue talking and it's going to get wet again. Just a little bit. No big deal. Bam! Gets me every time. I've been using it for 2.5 years and I still love it. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and finish our eyes. Okay, so first we're going to use our Undersense. It's our lash primer. And it comes out like that. No need to curl your lashes, it'll do it for you. And again, I put my pinky on my face to help steady my hand. Oh, the faces we make when we're doing our makeup. And you let that completely dry before you add your mascara. So we're gonna go ahead and apply to the other eye. And I wiggle my brush back and forth to make sure I get all of the lashes coated. And I am noticing a growth in my lashes over here because I have short little guys right there. They're always shorter than the rest of my lashes, always. But I'm noticing they're not as short. They're not as long as the other ones are, because I think the others are growing too, but they're not as short as they used to be. And it's truly amazing. Oh, so amazing. Okay, so we have our regular and we have our waterproof. This one is the regular, this one's the waterproof. I like to use the waterproof on my lower lashes, and if it's storming, you know, rainy, gross outside. So today I'll just use it on my lower lashes because it's nice and pretty. But I like to drag my brush on one side when I'm bringing it out, because it gives me a spot on the brush to kind of wipe and separate lashes. And I turn it to see what side I'm on. Like, is that the clean side? Is that the product side? Run it under hot water, keep it in your bra, warm it up, and the product applies so much better. And you want to do thin coats. You don't want to glob it on. You want nice thin coats. Okay. And then I'm going to move on to the other eye. I got to get more product. So I put it in, I stir it around. As I pull it out, I wipe off that one side. And again, I wiggle, 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 just to make sure, oh no, my lashes are getting good coverage. Especially because that primer was that really light tan color. I want to make sure I get all of that covered. Okay, now I'm not going to dip it back in because there is a little bit of product left, but I want to get that off. I didn't put any remover on that Q-tip, cotton swab. I did not put any remover on it because I had enough time. It was still wet, but I've got some in there that I'm going to have to put the remover on to get off. But how amazing are those lashes? I mean, I wish I could call them all mine, but they're not. I mean, they are, but it's the mascara that's making them look amazing. Look at those. Look how long and pretty those are. And they're not like spider legs. I don't like it when lashes look all clumpy and stuck together. They're so pretty. I'm gonna take, and while that sets for a second, I'm gonna take the waterproof, and same thing, I wipe off one side. But since they're just going on my lower lashes, I'm gonna wipe off the entire wand. So I'm slowly turning it, getting it to wipe off back into the tube so I don't waste any. Get that off the tip there. If I don't have a lot of lower lashes, I don't need a whole bunch of product. But I have allergies that make my eyes water. See? Just adds a little bit of definition to the eye without that harsh, dark line underneath. Now, sometimes I do like to line my lower lashes. Today, I wanted to stay more fresh with my makeup, so I didn't put any liner underneath. But this adds just a nice, fresh definition to them, to your eye. Okay, I'm gonna do one more layer, ouch, of regular mascara on the top. Just a little more, oh dang it, towards the mid shaft and tips of my lashes. Not so much towards the root. Get off. There we go. Awesome. Okay, and now would be the time, since your gloss has sat long enough, you can wipe it off, dab it off, or just leave it there and apply another gloss on top if you wanted to do a different gloss. And I'm thinking I want to use Prism today because it's so pretty. So it's settled. If you can tell in there, it's settled down. So I'm going to stir it. I just unscrewed it and I'm stirring. Do not pump. You will put air in there and the product will just ooze out. It's not pretty. So you just stir. You can come out a little bit and stir it and go back in and stir it because it moves the wand enough that the air gets squoze back out. Squoze, is that a word? Squeezed? It slips out. All right, so here is Prism. Oh, it is so pretty. I have yet to get a decent picture of it, but it adds so much multi-dimensional little shimmers in there. There's purple and blue and pink and white, and oh, they're so pretty. So pretty. So pretty. Okay, now that I've gone a little cuckoo, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to sign off. Thank you guys for watching and chilling. If you have any questions, any comments, concerns, whatever, go ahead and just leave some comments below. If there's a certain look you want to see, go ahead and let me know that. And let me know if you prefer the talking videos versus the fast forwarded videos, or if you would rather I just shush and put on the makeup. Just let me know. Okay, thanks. Bye.